this is our next step, and this is just some simple ground driving. I'm going to use 2 long cotton ropes. They're my lunge lines, and I'm just going to use these. Some people use a saddle and run the lunge line through the stirrups. You know, you can make one stirrup kick and one not, so that's something people do. I used to do it when I was younger. It also keeps the ropes from dragging on the ground or going up over their butt too far, and you know, it just kind of keeps it in place. It's easier, it's simpler, but I personally don't think the horse learns as quick or as much because you got all that equipment. So I try to keep it simple. I wanted to pay more attention to my horsemanship, and what I did there is I just draped over my folded up lunge line. You don't want to coil them around your fingers because you could shy off and take a finger or take you, drag you around the pin. So what I did is I just folded it over, draped it on her, and then it fell. So I'm going to fold it up again. I'm going to drape it over hip so that way we can start driving. See, there we go, I got it, but I didn't get it all the way, which isn't a big deal because I'm going to try to flip it over. See, there we go, got it. And she's moving forward, but she's still trying to spin. So I'm going to try to get some slack in between my rope and me. In between me and her. But she wasn't too sure, and my rope got a little tight, so it slipped over her hip. But as soon as she seen me and faced up, she stopped, which is good. Means she learned something from the previous steps. And I'm just going to ease up to her, pet her. And then I'm going to slide that right back over her hip so we can continue our lesson. And I'm kind of staying away from her so she doesn't think I want her to spin into me. So she knows I want her to hold while I do this. There, I got it over. I got my hands adjusted. I'm trying to adjust my ropes while keeping her in the position I want her to be in, which is kind of either at her side or away from me. So we can start moving right out and driving. And I'm adjusting my ropes so I don't get them tangled up and have another slip, so we don't have to go back. And she thinks I want her to face up, which is good, but it's not what I want. So I'm going to keep that tension on the opposite side to keep turning her away. But don't be too aggressive and don't be too hard, because you want her to learn, you want to be gentle. And see, she did it, so I gave her some slack, and that's called giving her her head. I gave her some slack in my lunge line. Then my post got in my way, so I'm going to turn her away, and I'm going to slide in between the post and her hip, staying more towards her hip so she knows I want her to keep moving. See how I'm towards her front now and she stops? That's good. But I want her to move, okay? She did enough that face enough, and she knows enough to stop, so let's get that move on. Okay? If you watch my hands, you watch her head, you can see which one's tense, where my body is while I'm moving her, and I'm always so she can see me. I'm not quite in a blind spot directly behind her, I'm kind of at the hip. And if I want to stop her, I'm going to step in front and I'm going to pull on both reins evenly, or if I want her to turn, I'm going to step in front and turn that one rein. See how my post got in my way, then I stepped around it. That's a perfect example because everything stopped and slowed down. And then I'm going to give her back some more slack, and she's doing so well. And here, whenever we come around this corner, I'm going to try to get her wound up a little. And then I'm going to pull her back. Tuck that head and back her up. She did perfect. Now, I didn't step in front because I wanted her to move them feet. I didn't want her to stop, like, facing up. And see how I use that tension? These are real good examples. If you have to, slow the video down and watch it slowly. It took me a long time to get this good. It took a while, and I do mess up sometimes. See, it gets dangerous. And I mean mess up like a rope come over the butt, or I gotta let one go. But here I only let it go because she did good. She did great. The lesson's over, and I hope I helped you guys learn something. So good luck.